What's up, N54 fanatics? So, obviously you can see where my car was left off yesterday. Today, we're going to be crawling under there. And the goal is to get that transmission out first things first. So, I'm going to raise up the car a little bit, which is really a pleasure with these things. A little costly, but at the end of the day, it makes life so much easier. And we're going up. Make sure both sides are working good. Make sure the other side hits the lock too. Yep, and then you lower it back down onto the locks. Nice and level. And as you can see now, I got more than enough room to get that trans out. We're gonna start by pulling off some shields. I've got this motorcycle jack, which should suffice to, I mean, that car is high up. Transmission will clear that. And yeah, we're gonna just keep on moving from there. I'll get right back to you once I get under there and start getting rid of some shields and stuff. Stay tuned. Alright guys, I'm under the car. So far, I removed the bracket here, as you can see, is right there. That connects to the exhaust there. What else did I do so far? I removed the rear splash that connects up here and just go to there, which is no big deal. What I'm gonna do next is work on disconnecting the shift linkage. I'm actually gonna go for the 10 millimeters up there, one there, and then one right next to it to drop the whole thing down, and then loosen the one bolt here. I think I mentioned that the 6HP28 is going in, so I'm gonna try to save everything. Also gotta disconnect the cooler lines up here. Gotta get a drain pan. We're gonna undo the O2s off of this bracket, remove this bracket, and that's pretty much what's gonna happen next. This bracket's gonna come down here. It's only held up by one of those metal twist things, another 10 millimeter or 3/8, whatever it may take. Gotta bend back this plate slightly to clear the tranny. See how it's a little bit up against it? We'll just push that bad boy back a little bit. I'm gonna be taking down the 13 millimeters here and leaving the transmission mount on the tranny as I slide the other piece under. So once all that's disconnected, I'm gonna start heading up, which you can't really see at the moment, but you got one here, and then you got, you know, a couple more up there. So once I get those out of the way, the tranny will dip down. I'll get a long extension up there and I'll start breaking those loose. My plan here, I'm thinking maybe I'll put the engine support on top of the car, so that way once the transmission's down, I'm not putting too much pressure on the plates, on the motor mounts rather. Also gotta disconnect my downpipes just for shits and giggles. It'll give me more room to get the exhaust out of the way. And once I get this linkage off here, those unbolted, I'm gonna stick my jack. Once this is gone, I'll stick my jack underneath it. And we'll start working on that. Yeah, I already got a new oil pan, so that's not a big deal. And yeah, so once the tranny's out, then we'll go back to the front of the engine and finish taking off the AC condensers and stuff. So right now we're working on unplugging the plugs, undoing the linkage, and getting those 13s out. I forgot to mention too, you're gonna want to remove this, and then you can bend this back a little bit to undo the drive shift guibo, so that way you could actually get the tranny out. Alright guys, now as you can see, I unbolted the guibo from the drive shaft, put a pry bar in between, slid it back, pushed it up a little bit. Now that that's out of the way, it was a little bit of pain in the ass because the car was in park and I couldn't rotate it, so that top one up in the back was a little bit pain in the ass. I just bent back the shield, easily movable. I'll put it back when the time comes. Also took off the brackets here and here, just throw them back there, have the other stuff labeled. Now we're gonna head over to the shift linkage. Should be 2 10s up here, 13 here. First, I'm gonna put a jack underneath this member, loosen the 13s, lower it down slightly so that way I could access those 10s easier. Because I'm leaving this together, because in all honesty, this is a real pain in the ass to get between the metal clip here, and then the locking clip up in the front. It's just a pain in the ass. Loosen this, slide the whole thing out in one shot, call it a day. I've already removed the O2 sensor bracket. It has the 2 external torque screws here. I believe they were E10s. And then the whole bracket comes down where you plug your O2s into. As you can see, I labeled them with zip ties, green for this one, so that way when it goes back, well, that one's black, so black and black go together, and then the green one's on the other side to go to green. And I also disconnected my oil pressure sensor, so that way this whole harness can move out of the way. Alright guys, as you can see, I got the bracket off, hanging down. I put the bolts back in just so I don't lose them. Loosen this nut to get the rod off of it. Also disconnected the trans cooler lines. They go right up into there. One bolt holding them in, 13 mil. Which I like to put some of them back in that don't need to be out. Oop. Just so that way I know where they came from. This transmission isn't going in. It's going to get the 6 HP and 28, which I already told you, but at the same time, you never know what miscellaneous shit you might need when doing the job itself. So I saved it all, because if I ever miss something, something's missing, I can just go in my bag of goodies and grab it out. So with that being said, the rear mount's off, everything's down, and now I'm gonna start heading up top to try to get the top bolts out. Starter's also gotta move, so once that's, I gotta see what I gotta do. I think one's going one way, one's going the other. I know they're a pain in the ass. I kind of want to have this tranny out today, but it's already about 3 o'clock, and I started late, and I don't want to be under here forever. I was hoping to maybe do some work on the Regal heads and get them completed so I can bolt that onto that car too. So little by little, but I'm running out of 60-degree weather to work on, and in the snow. Well, even though I'm in a tent, it's a little tight of a tent, and I don't want too much heat to melt anything. So I'm gonna start hitting up the top Torx bolts, whatever I can reach, a couple of swivels, long extensions, and hopefully be able to bang this bad boy out and have it on the ground by the end of the day. Alright, boys and girls, so far I haven't gotten very far. I started pulling some of the bell housing bits out. As you can see, this side is giving me a little bit of a pain in the ass due to the inlet being right in the way. There, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, that guy is being a little bit of a pain in the ass because it's so deep in. And the inlet's kind of pushing me back. I'm trying to use as many long extensions. I also disconnected the mechatronics connector for that. Really, all I gotta do is get that guy out. And then maybe one more hidden way up top that I'm gonna try to shoot through the top and all the way forward to get. But once I get that out, I'll let you know where I'm going next. Alright guys, quick update. This bolt would not move for shit. E16 rounded it out. I tried to hammer E14 on it, didn't work. Ended up using an extractor socket, but after a pipe on a ratchet and a bunch of extensions, got it out. So where I stand now is getting knocked out by tools. But now, as you can see, that guy up there by the inlet is out. I don't know if you can see where's, yeah, that hole where it's shiny, heat wrapped inlet, that's out. Now, to try to figure out where the starter and the rest of them are, I might have to go up top, pull the intake and all the other fucking bullshit. But, yeah, that's the progress. I removed this bracket to give me some more room. And, yeah, so I don't see anything else at the moment, so the rest of it's going to be by feel. And I'll get back to you. Okay, my N54 fanatics. I started working on top of the car. So that way I got the dual cone intakes out. I got the charge pipe and blow off valve out. I got the throttle body out. Because, well, as you all know, the starter's hidden back there. So, unfortunately, that's going to be the next thing. Because that's still holding the tranny together as well. And, yeah, so that's what I'm going to attack next. You know, I already unplugged this. Got my other hoses done. Gonna move some stuff out of the way. Got my T-map out of the way already. Move this box a little bit. And the lighting sucks. One thing I didn't do when I fucked up was I didn't unplug my battery yet. So that's going to be the next thing I'm going to do just for safety precautions at this moment. Like I said, I normally throw all the screws back in. So throttle body screws, just screw them back in. It makes things easier when going back together. Things that can't go back in, obviously you see I label them. And throw them in bags labeled so that way I know where they go and come from. This, however, could just live here. I know what they are. I know where they go. Other than that, we're going to keep pushing on. Thank you, and I'll see you back in a few.